Hello everybody and welcome back to an Argus News video. I'm your host Savvy Chap and today I'm joined by LiveDimensions and Wayb3tter. Just like we said in the last video, we're going to start doing dev diaries and we are back with them. Our first one is LiveDimensions, who's going to introduce himself and explain what he does. So hi Live.
Yeah. Hello everyone. My name is Live. I'm co-lead of programming and I'm also part of a management team. I've been part of Argus VRC for 2.5 years. I joined in July of 2021. Yeah. And what I mostly work on within Argus is bashing my head against the keyboard, do a bunch of programming and making the world come alive. Within management, I also kind of am focused on keeping things neat and tidy, organizing things within our tools that we work on, like Hack and Plan, for example, which is the software that we use for keeping track of progress in development. So everything that goes on with development in the different departments that we have in Argus, that all goes and keeps everything is logged within that software, and I try to keep that thing running and organize things, and that's just one of the many things that we do in management.
Get all the tasks out
but,
there.
Yeah, we do a bunch of things of that.
Okay, yeah. So not only are you a co-owner, co-lead of programming and stuff, you also helped set up the world design team with Wayb3tter. Do you want to have a little chat about that and tell us how that went?
Right, yeah. So a few months ago, we actually didn't have a world design department within Argus VRC. It was more of this designer knows a little bit about Unity, so they can go in the Unity project and they can set up trees and the terrain and houses and stuff like that. But eventually, within management, we decided to split the world design part into an actual department, so that they can actually know how to set up everything how it should be, so that it's optimized and it runs according to everything that's in the world, and it's optimized and it runs decently on your Quest, and it runs better on your PC. So world design now knows where I was actually in charge of supervising world design for a little bit, and I was acting lead. I was not actually lead because I was more busy with programming, but I knew the little quirks and things with the technical part of Unity, so I decided to start coaching a few of the members of World Design so that they could actually start learning how to do certain things in Unity so that it's optimized. So World Design and Wayb3tter was one of these members, and she eventually stepped up to be World Design lead.
Mm-hmm. All because of this guy right over here. When I was taken onto the team about a year ago, I was fairly knowledgeable with Unity, but it was because of him and all of his help with answering questions, because Argus is a very specific way of optimizing everything, so that way it can run steady on your headset or on desktop, so that way everything can work smoothly and you can have all of your frames that I needed a lot of help.
Yeah.
So I always was the one to ask live questions, and he was always there to answer them. And it's because of all of his help that I've actually felt comfortable enough to step up on the world design team, and now I'm the world design lead.
Yeah, and you have people under you now like that. You're doing that too, like Peak and the others and such.
Correct. Yeah.
So how is it like running like a whole department yourself then, like this team?
It's actually not that bad. I took Peak on, was it about half a year ago?
Must be, yeah.
And he was very knowledgeable on Unity, making his own worlds and everything. He's very talented. And we just took him on, trained him on how to optimize everything, because we all know how we need frames.
In Ironcrad,
and
it's very much needed.
Yes, it is.
So
yeah, and we just took him on, and he's been working his little butt off, and he's been doing a really great job.
That's awesome. So that sounds incredible. That like Lives managed to like teach you about optimization and Peak, and I don't know if you could see all the stuff on the screen there, ladies and gentlemen, of like some of Peak's worlds and some of the world work that they've been doing in the world. That's really good. That's like incredible. So frames obviously is the big thing that we talk about a lot. You were telling me about QA and Trudolf, who's one of our new QA guys, and
Yes, I was. There was a lot of work doing in QA of optimization testing, because if you've been in the world recently, you'll know that frames are a little bit of an issue. So we actually have a lot of people in QA right now trying to test out, see what may or may not be causing issues. And one of our most recent tests actually had one of our new QA members, Trudolf. He actually was in the world and he recorded having like 80 to 90 frames, which was amazing and unheard of.
Yeah, it's really a big achievement for us with 1.6, because that's the main focus and such, as with all of its new features and stuff. So speaking of new features, Live, and the reason you're all probably here, you do have something new to share, don't you, with
I do,
everyone?
yeah. So, big announcement. We've been working on 1.6, of course, on releasing it and such and such. We've actually stopped giving release dates because we don't actually, like, it's hard to know when it's actually going to be ready. And we've learned from past releases that we need to actually test every single thing that we do and have it QA'd, which is quality assurance, everything, so that it works the first time, not the third time we upload it within the same day we release. So one of the things that has been kind of like slowing down 1.6 is because we have one more system that, well, actually a few systems, but one big system that we decided to implement within 1.6 release. And it all ties into the roadmap that you already know about, which is progression and XP and leveling up your strength and your dexterity and such and such. And the big announcement that we have is that we are also releasing a quest system for 1.6. And this quest system is really complicated. It has so many things you can do with it. And we've been working, well, I've been working mostly on developing the system, taking lead of the system. And it has different quest types that you can do. You can walk up to an NPC and talk a little bit about something, and then maybe the NPC will tell you, oh, I need help with killing a few boars. So you have to go find the boars and then kill them, then go back with the NPC and fulfill your quest, and he will give you rewards. So one of the reasons that we decided to release 1.6 with also this quest system is because I realized that with the features that we had previously listed as 1.6, it was missing something. It was missing something because it was a little bit stale that, yes, you can level up, yes, you can increase your agility or your strength or stuff like that, but it still was missing something, which was some sort of game loop, right? So having some sort of goal, either midterm or short term or long term. So quest lines and quests are the things that are gonna kind of like patch that thing together and have something to actually do within the world other than just killing a few mobs and leveling up. So you will actually be able to follow up along a quest line and learn a little bit about lore or story or a certain storyline with a few NPCs and stuff like that. So if you've read the light novels or maybe watched a few things of the anime and paid attention, there's a few different quest types within Sword Art Online that we're also implementing. So there is not just going to be killing mobs for a quest. There's going to be a little bit more interaction in different quest types and different things to do. So one of these things that is also tied into a different system, a new system, is being able to collect stuff. So maybe an NPC will tell you, oh, I need you to go get a few berries. So you'll have to explore the world, find a few berry bushes and collect those. So that part of the system is called a node system, and that's what I've been also working on. So you'll be able to explore the world and find different types of resources that you can collect in different ways. One could be like picking stuff up. The other ones could be a little bit more elaborate with maybe a few tools. I'm not gonna spoil everything, but you can imagine certain things that you have to do.
yeah.
Yeah. Quiet. I'm not spoiling everything, but yes, it's a big announcement that we wanted to make because it just makes 1.6 a lot more dynamic and
And
playable
fulfilled.
and more interesting, immersive into the world. And I'm really happy that we've been able to incorporate all this system as part of 1.6, and I feel like it's gonna give the world a lot more replayability as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is partly the reason 1.6 is taking so long, isn't it? But there are other systems that like you would like to talk about today, which is why 1.6 is so big. So again, we have the roadmap, which has some systems on it, but we also have a lot of not confirmed systems for the road that were on the roadmap, but we have systems that Live's been working on that may go into 1.6 if they're done as well. But
Right. Yeah.
Wayb3tter with Live's node system, that helps you now, doesn't it, in world design, create unique and interesting places, right?
It does actually, because it has a lot of new and interesting implications for it. That, say, if you're supposed to go and explore, you want to have rewards for exploring, all of those chests that everybody wants to have and everything, that now there's actually going to be a viable reward for exploration and everything, and I really love that.
So you mean I can't sit on the bridge for hours at a time? I actually have to go and find interesting things?
You'll have to go and find the interesting things, yes.
Yeah. Nice.
It's definitely going to bring a lot of enjoyable aspects to the game that I'm going to probably personally have a lot of fun working with.
Yeah, because I know you have a love for Skyrim's like world building, don't you? Like with the way you tell stories through world, and with this system you'll be able to like set that up now. So yeah.
I do, yes, because my hope and dream for the project is to be able to one day be able to tell a story not through books, not through QR codes, but to be able to show you with your eyes, because this is VR, that there was a battle here, because you could see the swords laying out, you could see the tattered trees and bushes, you could see it all with your eyes, and so you could feel like there was something there, even though it's just a game.
Yeah. So, you do have some more. I know we keep bugging him for more systems, but give us more, because you brought more systems with you, haven't you?
So one of the things that we've already shown in our public channels in the Discord is sheathing. So sheathing has been one of the most requested features, of course, being able to not have to hold your sword all the time in your hand.
We have listened to you, index users. Yes.
Yeah.
Index.
So you'll be able to store your sword in different spots on your body, on your avatar. It's all going to be calibrated as well, so that it looks decent on every avatar. Of course, you'll be able to like customize certain things about where they are placed, depending on your avatar. But it's also like tied into the combat system with this and a bunch of other things, because you of course like kind of need to make it balanced so that you don't have like 3 swords on you and you can like pull them out without any repercussions. But different types of weapons will be different sheathed, kind of. You'll see once it's come out. You can see some of those videos in our Discord, or
from the SEO channel. Yeah,
screen, right?
Also on the screen. We have them for you on screen.
But yeah, so I started most of the back end, which is like the stuff that you don't see on the programming part of the sheeting, and then Teal actually took over, one of the programmers, and finished up that system. So we're still in the works of finishing that system, but it's mostly ready so that you can actually like put your sword here and then put something else here, and then there's different like pockets and things that we're still like polishing, but you'll be able to like probably hold like some potions so that you can actually like pocket them from your inventory instead of having to open your menu. So that's something that we're working on. It's really fun. Right, actually 1.6 also has I guess I can talk about this
You
right
can,
now, but
you can.
1.6 is getting a rework for movement system. So if you've been around VRChat for a long time and you've explored a lot of worlds, especially ones that you require to like walk around and explore, you've probably noticed that VRChat doesn't really handle well walking up slopes, for example. Sometimes you like glide along it and you don't really fall. So with the help of a system called A New Movement, which is made by Nessie, one of collaborators that we have in Argus. We've reworked the movement so that it feels a lot more like an MMO or an RPG, but within VR, so you can actually like make small hops and like cancel jumps. It's really nice. It's very happy. I'm very happy with it, and like the slopes are also like you'll be able to climb certain slopes, but if it's too steep, you'll fall actually and like slide down the slope.
It will upset,
it's really cool.
It will upset Wayb3tter, so it basically means no more Skyrim climbing the way you do in Skyrim, where you can get up those mountains.
Yeah, and this also like fixes a few issues with like flying avatars and such, because it completely overrides VRChat movement system.
Which also makes your job as a world designer a lot more interesting now with a new move system, doesn't it? Because it means you have to go through and design the world a lot more playable.
Indeed it does. There's not going to be any more of those jank paths that lead you to a random cave. There's actually going to be kind of a more interesting path that it's going to be more clear that you're going to be able to follow, but also a lot with the new movement system. There's a lot more. It's a lot better. It's so much more usable. And there's going to be a lot more terrain reworks that we're going to have to do in order to compensate and make sure that it's up to par with the new movement system.
Yeah, we've only scratched the surface for sort of a new movement system, so we'll hopefully touch on that again. Right, there is one more thing I want to ask you about, and that is the day and nighttime controller.
Right. Yeah, so the day and nighttime controller has been something that both Boku and I have worked on, but back in the day it used to be kind of janky. It had like a bunch of lights that worked on how to display the sunlight and the moonlight and stuff like that. So eventually I took the time to rework it and make it really easy to work with, and it has a lot of features that both Boku and I have worked on. So if you go into the world and like kind of pay attention to everything surrounding you, you'll notice that the light changes according to the time, of course, but that also implies a few other things. So like, for example, if you're looking at a lamp that's outside, that lamp's going to turn on and it's going to turn off. And if you're looking at the water, for example, well, actually, I think in 1.5 you won't be able to see this, but in 1.6 we've actually made a lot more changes to the day-night controller, so that the water looks a lot more realistic in terms of the lighting that's around it. And if it's daytime, if it's nighttime, I'm pretty sure in 1.5 in nighttime the water's like glowing, which doesn't really make sense. It looks pretty, but it doesn't make sense. So in 1.6 we're fixing that as well. And the day-night controller is just like something that both Boku, I really mention Boku here because he's also made a lot of systems for this, including being able to switch the light maps so that lights actually like glow and they light up the stuff around them, even if it's baked. So that's a really complicated system, and I'm not going to go into detail about it because I could talk about it for the longest time. But yeah, day-night controller is really nice and something that I worked on.
Amazing.
Well,
so yeah, if you ever need to praise the sun, this is the one you praise for that.
And Boku as well.
And Boku as well. Yes. So cool. So Live, is there anything else you'd like to leave us with just before we get on to our last little section?
Right. I think I'd just like to mention that it's been so long that there's just so many things that I've worked on. If you ever see me in game, which is kind of rare, but if you see me in game, you can ask me about it, and I'll be really happy to talk about all these sort of things and everything that's been happening over these 2 years that I've been here, or 2+ years that I've been here. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Nice. Well, thank you for coming along, and yourself, Wayb3tter. But we do have some things that we need to go over. One is we have 5 questions from the community for you both. So we've chosen 5 random questions, and Wayb3tter, would you like to read the first question and who it's from?
Absolutely. Wayb3tter would like to ask, when are you planning to add a weather system, i.e. rainstorms, thunderstorms, other things like that?
Oh.
Yeah.
That sounds like an interesting name. I wonder who that could be.
I wonder who.
Right. So
go on.
weather system is actually something that I've given a very big thought of, just in the back of my mind, and sometimes in the Discord with the other developers. We've talked about it before. We haven't actually started implementing any of this, so don't expect it to be within 1.6. This is probably going to come later down the line.
Down the road.
But yes, we have considered a weather system, but most importantly, we have considered a calendar system. So an in-game calendar with its own seasons and different things that happen in the world. So if it's winter, of course, it's going to be snowy, but it's also going to be able to transition to the next season. So the snow is going to start to melt and stuff is going to get pretty and stuff is going to grow. And then when it's summer, stuff might be a little dry and stuff like that. So it's all something that I've been giving a lot of thought to. And it's a really complicated system, but I'm really happy how it's coming along with the different ideas that other members of Argus have had. But yeah, definitely weather system is also going to be tied into the calendar system and the seasonal events, or just like world events. So rainstorms, yes, you can expect those. Snow, you can expect that. And like maybe even hail, and I don't know if a piece of hail hits your head, maybe you take damage. I'm not really sure.
Oh, so mean.
But yeah, it would be happy
so
to do that.
mean. Those poor people just walking in the rain. Okay, so Live, do you want to do the next question?
Right. So, Nisise, I think I said that wrong, but says, will there be any chests in the following updates or other ways to store everything? That's a very interesting question. We are not exactly sure how we're gonna handle extra inventory space. It would be hard to do like a chest-based storage, mostly because we don't have a way of like you keeping some sort of house forever. We do have some plans for that.
We
I'm not
do
sure if I can talk about those.
Yeah, we can talk about that. Yeah, there has been spoken about the rental system.
Yeah, so we do
been
have
heavily
a
debated.
rental system in the works, which is being worked on by Balfun, and he's been doing a great work for the rental system. You'll be able to like check into a lodge and like get a room for a few days and stuff like that, pay for it, but it's not gonna be forever. So you might be able to store certain items in there for that period of time, but it's also gonna like involve certain things, like if you don't pay and they kick you out, what happens to your items? So we're not really sure about that part.
How we
but
store
we are
them and,
looking to just increase the inventory space in general in your menu. So I think that's probably going to be the easiest way for us to give you more storage, just be increasing your inventory space instead of having to rely on something else like a chest. Something that might be doable would be some sort of like ender chest for Minecraft, where no matter where you are, you can open some sort of chest. Maybe that chest is in every city or every main town, but that's also, I'm not sure about that. Don't quote me on it.
We
Don't
need
think
to
that's
like
gonna be
tie one of we
It's
need
just
to
some
tie
idea
one
that
of the
might be able to
designers
do.
down and ask them. We do have ideas and stuff. I do think we have already increased some of the inventory space, haven't we, for 1.6? I'm sure at the moment it's like 8 weapons and we went to 16, I want to say. I know we upped the save. I can't remember what
We've
it was.
upped the save in 1.5, and we're looking to expand it for 1.6.
1.6, yeah, we are looking to. So we are always looking for ways to do storage and stuff, but not at the moment. Right, so the next question is from, I'm sorry if we butcher any of your names, Takanamase. Will we be able to sell items to NPCs? And if yes, when?
Right. So another big thing for 1.6. We are reworking the market system. It's gonna be so much different. It's gonna be so much better. the market system in 1.5 is really janky and it's not really working. It only has 4 items to buy for each shop, so it's really limited. So if you see any bugs with it, we are aware of those, but we decided to just spend more time working on the new market system rather than fixing the bugs on the old one. So the new market system is going to be really feature completed. It's going to be a lot different and a lot more like flashy and fancy. But yes, you'll also be able to sell items to NPCs and maybe get some rewards for it. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So that ties into like your node system. If you find an apple, what do you do with it? You take it to an NPC and you sell it.
Yeah.
Okay. So Wayb3tter, do you want to read the next question?
Sure. Chorus asks, as for guild emblems, in the anime adaptation and manga, I've noticed some custom guild emblems besides guild members in the health bar. So he's wondering if we would be able to submit a transparent PNG for that.
Right.
Yeah. So this is a very big system that is also being worked on. This is something that is not part of the 1.6 update, but is going to be coming along sometime soon because we've already started working on it. So one of the newest members that we've taken on in programming, his name is For the Win, or FTW, and he's been doing a great job of making the required systems and the backend systems for our guild system. So yes, be excited for a guild system. It's not coming along very soon, but it is coming along. It's something that we have been starting working on. And for your question about the little icons that you have on your guild, yes, you'll be able to submit a guild icon, and your guild members will be able to see it on the side of your health bar, like you see in the anime. So yeah, that's something that we are actually working on. Very happy about it.
Just to also add on to live, for 1.6, we have updated the crystals above your head now. So Patreons, you no longer have coloured crystals. You actually do have the first implementation of the guild system, which is the icons on your health bar. So you'll have a different coloured letter, I believe A at the moment. Oh no, it's crystal. Sorry, we have the coloured A. So there are little icons that are going to show up next to your health bar depending on what Patreon level you have. So if you have the blue one, you get a blue icon. If you have the yellow one, you get a yellow icon, black. Each staff member is also going to have a different colour to differentiate them, so no one will have a coloured crystal above their head. So with this new guild system that FTW is working on, and Kaiba or zerithax has done a lot of the design work and works very closely with the programming team to create this HUD system with these icons and the design team. So
the reason for this change is that we want to keep sticking to the source material, Sword Art Online. So in Sword Art Online, there's not really different crystal colors. There's only green, and it changes if you've done something bad. It goes orange, and then the other colors are for NPCs. So we wanted to keep sticking to the source material, so we decided to make the change of removing the crystal color, but also giving you a different display icon for your Patreon membership or your Argus staff or part of the Argus team icon. So that's the change that we've been making pretty much.
Okay, so the last final question comes from a guy called Nishida. And it says, when will fishing become a part of the world, and what is the limitations for it?
Right, that's a great question. I'm also really happy. I'm very happy of just fishing in general. If it's in any game, I've always done fishing in any game, and I'm really happy about it. So I think that fishing is gonna be very interesting in Project Minecraft because it will also, of course, eventually, I'm not saying in 1.6, but eventually it will tie into the quest system, it will tie into the market system for selling your fish, and so on and so forth. Maybe even collecting bait, like little worms and stuff, with the node system, so that you can use that as bait while you're fishing. So I can't give you any details right now on how fishing will work, but I do want to specify that we're not going to make it like Minecraft fishing, because that's just too monotone. You just like click and then click again when the bobber is moving. So we will make it a little bit more interesting than that, probably with having to reel in the line and having to cast it out and like maybe even manually putting the bait. I'm not really sure about that, but we do want to make it interesting and fun to actually do fishing.
It is on our minds. It is always on our minds, Mr. Nishida, when you appear in the questions. Right, guys. Well, thank you for coming. That was amazing. So thank you for all watching. Don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. We are going to start doing Patreon events again soon, so we have a Q&A planned soon in this world again, same as what we did last time. And me and Wayb3tter are also going to start hosting group meetups in the world. We held one thanks to one of our community members recently, which was a photo group where we all got together in like SEO avatars, and we wanna. It was a nice photo op, yeah. So like, we want to start doing that a lot more. So once a month, with both the Patreons and people, me and Way are gonna sit down and work out dates and be like, hey, come and join us for the night, and you might get to see live there too. So yeah, so look out for them on the Discord. Some more information about events. We're doing more events. So yeah. So thank you and goodbye. Bye everyone.
Bye bye.
I'd like to take a moment to thank you for making it to the end of the video. I'd also like to give an extra special thank you to all of our Patreons. You make all of this possible. If you want to stay up to date on all of the content and everything that comes to Argus, I would recommend joining the Discord. There's a lot of announcements and sneak peeks that you'll be able to catch. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel so that way you stay up to date on all of the videos. And I'll make sure to see you next time. Take care.
Cut.
Ooh.